Hi guys. Hi guys. My name is Florian. You don't know me yet, but I'm here to share something with you. The topic is slightly uncomfortable for me. Like I'm a bit embarrassed, ashamed, whatever you want to call it, because it revolves around the weakness of mine. I pride myself to be a very strong, ambitious kind of guy, but there's something I actually didn't tell too many people, although those who know me well, they know. Like, yeah. So the thing is, I've been addicted to smoking weed for quite some time now already. Yeah, I guess there is no better way to put it. I could of course say like I enjoy to smoke the ganja or whatever, but no, like it's in fact like a full-blown addiction. I've tried to stop like several times in the last 2 years, um, five maybe, but I wasn't successful. Like I couldn't, and eventually I would give in, like it would be a cycle of trying to stop, um, maybe successfully for a couple of weeks, months even, but then slowly, for one reason or the other, get back into the lifestyle. And now I'm at a point where I don't want to do it anymore. Like I've wasted so much time trying to quit this habit. It's just like ridiculous. Like I'm over it. And the reason I want to share all that with you is because I know for a fact that there's many people like me who struggle with this particular drug, and yeah, maybe they could use motivation. I don't want to say guidance yet. I've been through a lot, like I've tried a lot, and I think I'm at a point where I can actually implement now certain things I've learned. I can avoid pitfalls or mistakes that I did previously, which eventually led to me smoking again. So yeah, but it's actually kind of an interactive thing. Like I would also be very appreciative of your comments, of your tips, of your journey. Let's do this together. Let me know. I'll let you know, and let's see. Maybe we can get something out of it. Just as a little background story regarding my weed addiction. So I started in my late teens, like 18, 19, and within a very short time, I would smoke a lot, like literally throughout all my school days in the toilet. I would even be high at my driving exam. Like I went to the military service, and even there, like I was smoking like constantly, and I had clean urine with me to pass the drug test, which might have happened at any time. And as a matter of fact, it did, and I actually, yeah, I fooled them. But so yeah, that's that. And how did I start? Like first, I was actually strongly against drugs, but eventually I became curious. How can I like? I mean, there's several reasons, like curiosity, but for me, there were other issues as well, which made it like quite an unhealthy relationship from the start. I was bullied at school, I didn't have many friends, and I wasn't part of any group or whatever, which of course made me sad at that time. And at home, I didn't have like a stable and good home environment either. So my parents, um, long story short, they hated each other. Like they were fighting constantly. I was kind of in the middle, trying to make mom and daddy love each other again. And it took a toll on me. Like I felt responsible for peace in our house, which is of course ridiculous, like for a young guy. But yeah, these were my issues to start with, and I can still remember when I first tried weed. It felt as if I'm suddenly part of something. I was accepted, And yeah, that was a long, like that was the start of a long, yeah, like a long history with the weed. But as a matter of fact, like that's I think quite interesting, and maybe like and other people will have other experiences. I've never accepted my addiction. Like I've always tried to stop, like from the beginning already, which is quite remarkable, or remarkably stupid, however you want to see it. But in practice, it would mean that I would only always get like very little, like for one day, thinking that next day I wouldn't smoke. And I would do that every day, you know. Um, and as a matter of fact, like I didn't smoke constantly all these years, but I did smoke a lot, and it affected my studies, my jobs. Like I've studied law. I finished it. I had always jobs on the side. I did work out. I did all these things, you know. So it didn't like completely stop me from pursuing my dreams and goals and ambitions, but it did definitely make it harder. And I would always picture it as follows, which is I was actually kind of throwing stones, like that's the path of my life, right? And I was throwing stones on it, like rocks, massive rocks, and then eventually I would climb these rocks. And I would manage it. I would successfully climb these rocks. So I finished my studies. I had a good job and all these things, but it took just like much more effort than it would have without the weed. Anyway, the thing is, at that time, it served me as well. So I can't deny it. For some reason, it took me, it gave me something like all those years. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. And I'm not like regretting any of that. But now I can really feel that it's not giving me anything anymore. I hate it. And I actually wanted to stop. I can remember like 5 years ago for good. Yeah, that turned out to be quite a struggle. And now the last year was especially bad. Like I would like throw away my weed or my cigarettes, which I would mix with the weed every day. Like every day I would throw away a full pack of cigarettes, thinking that that's it, like I'm done now. Only to next day, like a robot, you know, like get everything again and like start over. And yeah, so that's pretty much like my short history and what makes me qualified to actually like advise you through or like give you like my tips. It's just the fact that I've actually yeah, tried often, and I've uh, come further. Like even though like I failed and I've continued smoking or fell back to smoking, there was something I learned each time, and now I can feel it. Like I'm at this point where I can drop it for good. Like, and if not, like guys, I will be uploading one video a day, every other day, and I will be honest and I will tell you about my feelings, you know, and how I deal with it. So I'm practicing yoga. I have been for a couple of years already. I've done like a Vipassana meditation course, you know, like where you don't talk for 10 days, and really learn to properly meditate. And I will try to utilize these techniques and yeah, spiritual activities to help me through the withdrawal, and to yeah, like get myself on the right track again. So far, I haven't really utilized these things. Don't ask me why. Maybe I didn't really want to stop. I was actually sabotaging myself. Um, and yeah, so that's done now, I think. As said, you know, like I'm of course now very sure that I will succeed with my quest. But then again, like I've been that every time. It might be true. No, it is like I can, like literally, I can now not think that I will succeed. That's pretty much how I live my life, and I think that's also quite a valuable approach, or that's actually quite a good approach to change or to try to improve your life. So what I believe is that what I think will happen, and right now I believe that I will shake this addiction for good, and there is no way I doubt it. Like with every cell of my body, I'm convinced that this time I will just get rid of it. There's no chance it will be any other way, and that's how I approach many things in life. And I think it's the only way, like literally the only way. And if I fall, if I slip, I'll just get up again. Like I can do it all my fucking life, like I'm not giving up. And very often I hear people pity me, or they like make fun of me for quitting all the time, and like starting again. But you know what? Like every time I fail, and every time I start smoking again, um, it actually means I at least tried to quit. There is no failure if you're not even trying. So I'm fine with failing. I'm absolutely okay with failing all my life already. I go onwards and upwards. I look ahead. I try to learn from my mistakes. I try to improve. I try to change my approach. But there's no way in hell I will ever give up. So there's that. And another question I get very often, which I will address now, is why do I even stop? The thing is, actually, everything's quite good in my life. Like I have a stable income, which I don't rely on any other person on. Yeah, like I have a fit body. I'm not lazy in that regard. I do yoga every day. I work out. I go to the gym and whatever. So I can actually be proud of um, yeah, being in control of these things in my life. I also have hobbies, and I socialize. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like for me, it just feels wrong. Weed is a very insidious drug. When I've tried other drugs as well, and the thing is, with weed, you actually feel all right. You feel it fits your life. It's something that maybe replaces your beer at night or whatever, and you use it to relax, and there is no reason for you to stop. You think, why should I stop? Like others are drinking beer, whatever. Everyone needs something to unwind. So why not weed? And I'll tell you, for me, weed, as said, is very insidious, and this word is great. Like this word is almost invented for weed. So um, if I compare it now to heroin, I mean, I've never tried heroin, but let's just use heroin because it's on the other extreme end of the spectrum. It's a very hard drug. Like you use it, you get addicted quite quickly, apparently, and then the addiction will have devastating consequences. You will need a lot of money. You will probably commit crimes to get that money. You'll lie, cheat, steal, whatever. So it's full on, like it changes your life full on. And you'll come to that crossroad where you have to decide between, okay, do you want to live like a heroin addict for the rest of my life, possibly die soon, or do I want to change my life? And with weed, you hardly ever come to that crossroad because it's just mild enough, to not affect your life in a major way. Like at least that's what you think. So you can still, as you see in my case, you can still like do sports, you can still be healthy and do all these things um, while being addicted to weed. So the changes are very subtle. Being addicted to weed might mean that you're just not doing as much. Like I do enough to survive, to have my job, like to have like my baseline fitness or whatever. Everyone has like different kind of expectations or goals or whatever. And with weed, you're still doing these things, but you do the very minimum because there's always in the back of your head, you want to like chill, and I've done that already. Now I can go and like have a joint or whatever. So it's always distracting you and actually keeping you from this laser focus, from going the extra mile, from like being better. And that's something I think very important in life, and that's something that makes the difference between average and exceptional. And I'm not happy with being average. I want to be exceptional. I want to like have all my senses available to yeah, to grow and fulfill my dreams and live my dreams and whatever. And weed doesn't have any place there anymore. I'm just sick of fighting it. I'm sick of um, trying to juggle, like my ambitions, and on the other hand, my addiction. And so I'm not saying that um, you should feel like that. Like if you smoke weed and you're happy, all the power to you. Like personally, and I know there's many others like me, I'm just like over it. I don't want it. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. And that's the steps I will take. Yeah, so for me, first of all, getting sober. That's like the number one goal, to be 4 weeks without it at least and have a clear head. And then, I can still reconsider. Maybe I think, okay, fuck, like my life is really shit without weed, but how could I make this decision while being under the influence? And that's another thing with weed, it stays like in your fat, in your body fat, it stays with you for quite some time. So even though you might not feel high, and as a matter of fact, right now I would, I'm a bit not withdrawing, but I mean, like it's still weird, but I feel uncomfortable. Um, I miss the comfort, of this drug. I miss that what it gave me all the years, which was the feeling of belonging, the feeling of coming home, the feeling of warmth. And I'm someone who really needed that, because I've been leading a pretty wild life. I've been moving countries not once. I've been traveling all over the place. I've been fighting my own fight. Like I've been trying to survive without a boss, like on my own, alone in this world, walking my own path for quite some time now already, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it can be quite tough. It can be difficult emotionally, psychologically, and the weed. It was always there for me. It was there when I was bullied at school and then provided shelter. It was there to make me forget about my parents fighting, and it was there to give me the feeling of homeliness when I actually didn't have a home. And yeah, so that's something I can definitely feel right now already. This kind of something's missing, like an evening is approaching. I wasn't even like smoking all day every day, but it's just like to know that at one point of the day or the week or whatever, you will smoke it and you will be able to relax and unwind. It was a good feeling, and to not have that right now makes me uneasy, makes me feel empty, makes me scared, but I fully intend to like let these emotions come out. I will try to observe them. If it goes, if it's worse later today, and I will also not smoke any cigarettes, drink any beer. Like I'll be completely sober. And if I feel like that later today still, I'll try to meditate a little bit. I will actually anyway try to implement that at night. But my main thing is don't smoke weed, and everything else will eventually come. Like I will see what I need. I will yeah, respond accordingly as it happens. So just one rule: no weed, no weed, no other substances to cope with it. And I think it should be fun to watch, maybe even educational. I'll really try to share everything. Like I will be not holding anything back. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I'm happy to answer them. And I would be also very interested about your journey. Like where are you? Like are you sober already? Do you think about maybe stopping to smoke? Or yeah, just like let me know who's watching. I'll be definitely very interested. Um, that's it for now, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, guys.